The movie begins on a peaceful afternoon, where a patient is prepped and sedated for a minor surgical procedure at a clinic in France when chaos suddenly ensues inside the room due to a fierce brawl between cunning private investigator Nicky Larson and an assassin, Mammoth. Nicky gets the advantage by electrocuting him with a defibrillator. Some hours earlier, before the confrontation, Nicky's partner, Laura, read a mission code on a message board in the station. Deciding to relay the information to him, she gets blindsided by Nicky, who wants to keep her out of his room. As Nicky becomes obsessive, Laura is livid over his personality problem regarding women. He remembered visiting a shrink, but it never solved his issues. Laura leaves frustrated as Nicky resumes spying on women in a nearby gym instead of working on a case. She then decides to hide a live crab, which bites his crotch, in the bathtub as payback for his immature shenanigans. Later, at the park, Laura reminisces about her late brother, Tony, who loved playing soccer. Nicky then flashes back to the last time he saw him at a strip bar, where Tony, preparing to attend Laura's birthday party, divulges his scheme to expose the boss of the Tiope cartel, Black Hand. Soon after leaving the parking lot, he gets shot by Black Hand in the chest before Nicky steps out and rushes to help. He dies, urging Nicky to protect Laura at all costs. Not long after, Nicky and Laura meet with the client, Dominique Letelier, who presents them with a solution to unrequited love. He explains that his late scientist father developed an odorless love serum called Cupid's perfume that makes the user irresistible to any person because it enhances the body's oxytocin hormone. A contaminated individual is identified by a red dot in the eyes. To make Nicky believe in its efficacy, he sprays a dab on his wrist and lets him sniff it, which makes the detective instantly attracted to the client. Irritated by this, he sprays the perfume on Laura so that she can test it on a hunky man in the park. Unfortunately, she gets thrashed by an explosion, trampling a man, Pancho, who accidentally gets contaminated by the scent. Nicky then sees Letelier's briefcase stolen by Mammoth on a motorcycle, prompting him to shoot the rear tire to make him crash. He chases him through the Phoenix Institute Aesthetic Clinic, where his shrink is being prepped to remove an arrow from his backside. After a fierce scuffle with Mammoth, he electrocutes him, only to make him furiously throw the naked patient off the window and into a bus filled with nuns. Laura then injects him with a sedative to knock him out, and the pair hide his body in a stretcher and prep him for surgery. Not long after they escape the hospital, Laura notices Nicky's eyes growing red dots, revealing his progressive serum contamination. Without the antidote, the effect will become permanent after 48 hours. Unfortunately, Letelier becomes unnerved when he discovers the wrong briefcase with the perfume accidentally getting into the hands of mild-mannered businessman Gilbert Skippy. Sometime after, Nicky asks his sexy policewoman friend, Helene, to identify the briefcase's owner through a fingerprint scan. He then becomes distracted by images of Letelier while staring at her body, indicating the perfume is taking effect. At home, Laura becomes frustrated when she discovers a peephole in their apartment and tries to hit Nicky with a mallet until she knocks herself over. After calming down, Pancho, enthusiastically holding Laura's wallet, appears on their porch. The following morning, they retrieve Helene's information about Gilbert and visit his home, only to find his entire family bound and gagged by the cartel. The wife explains that Gilbert came home the other night complaining about his lost briefcase. He then sprays the perfume and accidentally infects his mother-in-law, who becomes immediately smitten by him and takes her clothes off to be intimate with him, only to get thrown to the folding bed. Later, after the interrogation, the detective duo deduces that Gilbert will see sexy superstar Jessica Fox, who will be staying at the Monaco Grand Hotel for a lingerie show. Elsewhere, Gilbert uses the perfume to entice various women to board a flight and drive a sports car to the event. On the plane to Monaco, Laura is horrified to discover Pancho has followed her and tries to avoid him by going to the bathroom. He confesses his love from outside the cubicle, only for a young boy to come out and report him to his father. Meanwhile, Gilbert gets a trio of supermodels to push his broken-down car and ends up in a Novotel, where he crashes onto a truck filled with ducks that become allured to his scent. Elsewhere, a sexy driver escorts Nicky and Laura to the venue when she suddenly reveals her ruse and leaves the duo with the cartel, who traps them inside the car with a magnet. Nicky later awakens to see the Black Hand and his henchmen injecting him with a truth serum to reveal Gilbert's location. When he leaves, his henchmen start arguing when they discover one of the men is secretly a mole, allowing Nicky to knock them out and escape. Laura, saved by Pancho, sees him get cornered by a thug and tries to shoot him, only to misfire and hit Nicky's buttocks. After Nicky incapacitates him, the duo drives to the hotel and leaves Pancho along the road after getting annoyed by his story about his pet hamster. By evening, Gilbert arrives at the hotel but is barred by security from entering the venue. He then sees Jessica Fox and entices her with the perfume, which works effectively as he gets invited to her private suite. Soon after, Nicky and Laura, looking ravishing in a red dress, arrive and set their plan in motion. Nicky then becomes compelled to answer his partner's questions honestly while still under the effects of the truth serum. Though the duo tries to sneak inside the venue through a small window, they get the attention of the security guards. As they ask them questions, Nicky becomes compelled to tell the truth about what he will do with them and then knock them out with his incredible fighting skills. Once inside the hall, he calls Littler to update him on their progress and asks him out on a date, getting disappointed when he realizes he is married. Meanwhile, Gilbert enjoys his time with Jessica, learning about her love of France. Elsewhere, Laura gets roped into taking a lie detector test by a fashion inspector to avoid Pancho, who is looking for her. She lies throughout the session, claiming the device is defective despite being used by secret services. She then meets up with Nicky, who asks her to dance with him while he scouts around for Black Hand's men, scattered all over the venue. As Laura realizes her dormant feelings for him, Nicky instructs her to wait by the pickup truck until he recovers the perfume by unlocking Jessica's room with the hotel key. As he leaves, Laura accidentally leans on the elevator and gets her dress stuck on the door, lifting her upward. Pancho sees her and chases after the elevator, only for it to drop to the lower floors and completely rip apart Laura's dress, leaving her with her lingerie. At the same time, Gilbert strips into a revealing outfit and pleasures Jessica with a comical pole dance in full view of the three supermodels still attracted to him. Jessica becomes aroused and handcuffs him on the bed while she starts her live stream. One of the models is so angered by the sight of Jessica that she throws a lobster to knock her out, leaving Gilbert helpless in front of the smartphone camera, streaming to thousands of fans, including his family. Soon afterward, wearing new clothes, Laura returns to the car, where Pancho appears to profess his love. When she refuses and tells him he is under the perfume's influence, he becomes brokenhearted and wishes to get run over, only to lie next to the wrong vehicle. Meanwhile, as Gilbert confesses things about his family, Nicky bursts into the room and confronts him about the perfume, only to get the models angry enough to throw a pineapple that knocks Gilbert out. Mammoth then axes through the door, forcing Nicky to get inside the truck and pull the entire bed away from the suite, hauling Pancho accidentally. The cartel thugs chase them, along with Mammoth, who hijacks a driving school vehicle. While cruising rapidly on the highway, the bed catches fire when a motorist throws a cigarette on the mattress. Nicky and Laura then get sandwiched between the two enemy vehicles as Mammoth throws a grenade before he crashes. The thugs get distracted by throwing the bomb out, leading them to crash into a barrier that sends one of them flying toward a billboard. Nicky then blows out a fire hydrant to douse the flaming bed and abruptly stops the car in a parking lot. After Laura revives Pancho, she confronts Nicky about his indifference, wishing she would look attractive to him. Nicky lies through his explanation after the serum wears off, prompting her to drive away furiously. Not long after, he recovers the perfume in Gilbert's suite, only to hesitate with the antidote when Littler invites him for dinner. After coming to his senses, he calls Laura but quickly discovers she has been kidnapped by Black Hand, who demands the perfume be brought to him at the nuclear plant. As Mammoth appears, Nicky compels him to team up against the cartel after realizing who hired him. Nicky gears up and infiltrates the nuclear plant with the two dim-witted accomplices, Gilbert and Pancho. After eliminating a few guards, he finds Laura and apologizes for his rudeness, presenting her with the perfume, which she secretly sprays on herself. However, it does not faze Nicky, who admits he is attracted to the cartel lady who kidnapped them in the taxi. He soon discovers Laura is strapped to a belt bomb as Black Hand appears, explaining it will kill her if she removes the contraption or leaves the building. Seeing Laura in distress, Pancho hilariously breaks down the door, allowing Nicky to shoot the cartel while they are distracted. While the pair hides behind the terminal, they arm themselves and open fire around the plant, showcasing incredible weapon skills. Meanwhile, Gilbert miraculously saves Pancho from the tattooed henchwoman by shooting ducklings out of the blower. Simultaneously, Nicky and Laura continue to fight, with the former swiftly eliminating Black Hand's reinforcements. As they regroup, Black Hand appears and tries to shoot Laura, only for Pancho to block the shot by accidentally pushing Gilbert, letting the bullet land on his shoulder. The mob boss then throws a grenade, but it gets fetched to him by his dog, leading to his death. Gilbert and Pancho attempt to revive him, but they recoil at the sight of his headless body. Realizing Laura must live, Nicky removes the belt and frees her while locking himself in the plant. Laura desperately pleads with him to stay as Gilbert and Pancho take her away. Soon after they leave, the plant explodes. Sometime after the incident, Laura is visiting Nicky's grave when Littler arrives to express his condolences. She then gives him the perfume, only to realize he is the real Black Hand based on his tattoo. As he confesses his revenge plot, she reveals he is being wiretapped as Helene and her officers swarm the area, along with Nicky, who survived the explosion. As he gets detained, Nicky reveals he found out about his ruse when he saw the real Dominique Larson hire Mammoth to recover the perfume. Eventually, the hitman helped him escape the plant while he strapped the bomb to a henchman. Later, Laura and Pancho, now cured, make amends. Not long after, Dominique appears and presents the duo with the last ball of Cupid's perfume. Laura explains that the formula is only sometimes practical, but Dominique clarifies that it does not affect people already in love with the infected person. She then realizes Nicky has fallen for her as the pair snipe the ball at Black Hand, inexplicably alluring his cellmates. The movie ends as Dominique peeks at the chaos and the person as Nicky becomes bedazzled by her buttocks. Fueled by jealousy, Laura tries to chase him off with her mallet. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.